Welcome back to Lisa Michael Save the World. And today we are doing 5 minutes with artist Maria Teresa Ortiz-Naretto.
Yay! I'm so glad she's here. And Michael, she's another artist that we need to have in person.
That would be great.
When you come back to New York.
That would be great, yeah.
Yeah. So welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much for having me.
So let's start off with art history with you, because I feel like you are so well versed in it, and I think that you have very much examples in your own work how it influences you as well.
And we're also doing you're going to do an example of art history that you love, an example of art history that you don't love so much.
Yeah, but I will surprise you. What? What about that? I hope so. Okay, let's start with the first one. I think the first one is Jean Dubuffet, is apartment building. He made it in 1946. And this painting is very important for me, actually. He was looking at artists who didn't have training. And for that, he was looking at this book. I have it in Spanish, but actually was written in German by Hans Prinzhorn. He was a psychiatric and art historian himself. And he was studying the pieces of art that a person with mental issues were doing when they were hospitalized. So this book was a furor at that time. Many artists look at and dig into the images. So Dubuffet started a new movement that is called Art Brut, which is raw art, more or less. And he was interested in these pieces of art and how he can incorporate this into his own work. So apartment building is a flat surface, very textured, because he mixed oil with sand, and he used the charcoal for make the lines, and everything is juxtaposed or layered. But all these things happened in the foreground, exactly like my paintings. And if you are wondering why I choose this one, it's because during a year, I was visiting the Met. This painting is not actually in exhibition right now, but I was looking at this painting in the Metropolitan Museum over and over and trying to understand how he was using the oil and create that surface so rich and so flat at the same time. So when people ask me which one are my influences, and I mentioned this painting, many people are surprised because my paintings are not monochromatic, are very colorful, but this was the foundation of my art. And the other reason is because even though I have a training since I am very young, my college training is in art history and in philosophy, not in art as Michael and Lisa have. So I don't hold a degree in art history. So many people will say that I am untrained, but actually I have studied art since my 9 years old. And during 10 years, I was studying art with a teacher, with many teachers, but the one that I always praise is Adriana Torrigiani, who really trained me for become the person who I am now. And this particular painting, the Jean Dubuffet apartment buildings, Paris, is the one that is the foundation of the whole paintings that you see that I create. Because the surface, the richness, the lack of brushes, as I don't use brushes at the same time, and the juxtaposition of the stories. So the stories are one layered on the top of the other one, and if you start to look into every single moment, you really can create a story in itself. Absolutely. So you can move from the bottom to the top, or anywhere that you want to start, you have a storytelling. And that capability of become a storytelling in a piece of art, for me, is beautiful in itself.
When you,
oh my God,
that was beautiful what you said, and
Yeah.
I'm sure Jean Dubuffet is listening from heaven and is thrilled that you, because when you picked him as your influence, that is that's like almost a perfect marriage, because you both, even though your work is very much your own, you have your own aesthetic, I can see the similarities that you're talking about, and the incredible texture that both you and he create in your work is unreal. But you have this very authentic, humanistic approach to your work, and I think that's why so many people connect with it. And I have to tell you, I am a huge fan of his. And I'm also a huge fan of yours, as you know. One of our other guests had said prior, I'm a fangirl.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, it's nice that we all are fans of each other. And I think that was great also about this painting I'm saying, because he was working in connection with, for example, with Fautrier. I don't know French. Speaking in Italian to me, or Spanish, but not French. So with Fautrier was also his great influences, and in the way that Fautrier put the painting on the canvas and the use of different kind of matter, not only sand. And you can see I use wax.
Yes.
And I use wax inspired of this.
So, Michael, I don't know if you know this, but Maria Teresa uses wax. She mixes it in with her paint to create this incredible textural feel. Plus she uses a palette knife. I am desperate to see what is behind you.